Hola, saludos nuevamente desde Greenville, San Diego 2021. Aquí les compartimos otra cápsula informativa reportando sobre lo que hemos estado viendo aquí en el Congreso. Para grabar el video me salía a una terraza aquí del Centro de Convenciones de San Diego y hay bastante sol, así que aquí ando con el sombrero del GBC bien puesto. En esta cápsula les vamos a compartir información particularmente sobre lo que es el acto de apertura, el Opening Keynote, que es el discurso de apertura del Congreso. Lo dio el señor Mahesh Ramanujam, el CEO y presidente de USGBC y GBCI. Él está saliendo, se ha anunciado que va a salir dentro de poco tiempo de ese puesto, entonces este es su último discurso de inauguración su último Greenville, digámoslo así, ¿verdad? Entonces ahí vamos a compartir información de lo que él ve en la situación, el estado, digamos, de la organización y lo que él ve un poco viendo hacia adelante, lo que es su perspectiva de mercado, de la construcción verde. Al final de la cápsula también tenemos otro video de Don Mahesh, que es algo especial que él grabó para nosotros, en particular para esta cápsula, para compartir con nuestra audiencia del Green Building Council de Costa Rica. Así que ahí lo van a tener y en ese video van a poder ver información un poco más particular, digamos, de los comentarios de Don Mahesh hacia lo que es el mercado en particular costarricense y centroamericano. Así que los invito a que disfruten de la cápsula y sigan nuestras redes del Green Building Council de Costa Rica, para que puedan ver mayor información en los próximos días, que estamos preparando bastante para compartir con ustedes. Gracias por acompañarnos. Bueno, aquí estamos entrando a lo que es el Welcome Address, Opening Keynote Address, que lo va a dar el señor Mahesh Ramanujam, CEO y presidente del USGBC y GBCI. El salón es bastante más pequeño que otros años, obviamente eso es un Greenville reciente, después en medio de pandemia, pero igual es un salón bastante bonito, arreglado. Sí, hay un público, están recién abriendo las puertas. Con Mahesh va saliendo de lo que es la presidencia y CEO, ha anunciado su salida para finales de octubre, y entonces esto va a ser una especie de bienvenida, al mismo tiempo despedida. Él ha sido CEO por aproximadamente 8 años, yo creo. Entonces va a ser un discurso que mucha gente está esperando a ver qué mensajes da y qué proyecciones da para la industria saliendo de la pandemia y entrando a lo que viene esta siguiente etapa. El que va entrando para reemplazar a Don Mahesh como CEO interino es el señor Peter Templeton, que ha sido presidente y CEO de USGBC y GBCI hace varios años, aproximadamente 2012 por ahí. Entonces no creo que él vaya a hablar hoy, pero ya está nombrado como interino y todavía no han anunciado que va a ser de nuevo. Entonces, por todas esas razones se espera que este discurso sea un discurso interesante, de mucha proyección y esperanza, y también detallando retos que hay hacia adelante. Vamos a más tarde estar compartiendo más información sobre este evento y los otros. Que lo disfruten.
It's time to get out of the red. Time to reconnect, rethink, and reimagine. Buildings that generate more than they consume. Economies built on equitable, climate-first policies and practices. Communities designed to improve the physical, mental, and social wellness of their occupants. And how we turn innovative strategies and standards into urgent action. It's time for a reimagined Green Build. Green Build is the largest annual event where today's and tomorrow's green building leaders gather to focus on the policies, practices, and standards necessary to ensure a sustainable future for all. And with new collaborative networking and education sessions available in person, virtually, and on demand, a reimagined Green Build allows our industry to learn, problem solve, and connect anytime from anywhere. Welcome to Green Build. Please welcome President, CEO, USGBC, GBCI, and ARC, Mahesh Ramanujam.
Hello everyone. person at long last. And for those of you joining us virtually, we see you and feel your presence. Whether you are in this room or streaming today's program, we are thrilled to be able to bring everyone together safely for an exciting and promising Green Bull 2021. Two years ago, I sat down with President Obama for a chat about everything from the Paris Agreement to its roots in community organizing to explaining how parenting shaped his policy and decision making. It was one of my most memorable Green Bull moments. A lot has changed in the world since then, and each time we discuss the challenges around the global pandemic and inequities in healthcare, climate justice, and the economy, I thought back to just how prescient his words turned out to be. If you are there, you might remember the president mentioning that when he returns to Hawaii, the places he played in as a kid look and feel different. He recalled at what it was like to spend time there as a boy. He also talked about how the size of a space can feel completely different when you return after a long absence. The president also led us in on a moment of enlightenment he had during his time in office. When he would go on work trips, his team often put him in the presidential suite. These had a bunch of rooms, beds, and basically any amenity he wanted. But often, his family was not traveling with him. And even though he was the president, he was just one man in a big suite that felt more like a house than a hotel room. This got him thinking, how much space do I really need? How much space do we really need? It's a great question, and the answer would be likely different for each of us. President Obama saw this in terms of what he experienced growing up. The house he lived with his grandmother in Hawaii was fairly unremarkable. In terms of square footage, it is quite different than what he's used to today. I know this revisitation feeling intimately. In one swoop, it can feel introspective, and it also like an indictment of who you have become. After all, if you are happy in your humble beginnings, what was it that eventually set it to alter your expectations? Of course, growing up, not everyone had even a single family home with people who loved them or a baseline of practical needs being taken care of. But let's consider, on a universal scale, what happens to all of us, and in all of us, that invokes in us the desire for more. What are we exposed to that ignites these great expectations? I think it's a human tendency for possibility. Looking ahead, sometimes too far ahead to what's next. At a certain point, if we are lucky, our eyes are open to the world and the idea that there is life beyond the walls we have inhabited, that there are people beyond the ones in our immediate surroundings, and there is the possibility of more than what we already know. Hello from Green Bull, San Diego, and I'm sorry we are missing you here at Green Bull, but thank you for joining us virtually as we are re-entering our spaces and joining at Green Bull, San Diego in person. I want to remind the Latin American community about some of the key priorities that we must continue to focus on. First and foremost, we need to put all of our efforts towards re-entry, which means implementing LEED Safety First pilot credits. Second, we cannot lose our focus on existing buildings. All buildings are existing, and it is important that we get them into a pathway to certification, and most importantly, on a pathway to net zero. Net zero is the minimum standard, so we must do all we can to get all of our buildings to meet that standard today, tomorrow, and by 2030. And then importantly, we cannot lose our focus on the intersectionality of the four key important pillars for sustainability, health and wellness, resilience, and equity, because continuing to focus on that will help the Latin American market to overcome its past and the present challenges, particularly due to the pandemic, to realize a future where we can deliver healthy people in healthy places in a healthy economy. So I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you in my new chapter Please stay tuned, more to come. And as I always said, Latin America is my home, and I'll be there soon, meeting you all in person, working together to build what's possible and most importantly, what's next.